Okay, in this section 4.6 we're going to learn about inverse trig functions, or more about them. So first of all, to remember what we're doing when you do inverse sine, cosine, or tangent, you're actually finding an angle now, and we did some of that when we did the right triangle trig. But now in our unit circle here, we remember that our x and our y are directly related to our cosine and our sine. So the cosine of this angle is my x value here. The sine of this angle is my y value here. So when we want to find inverse sine of square root of 2 over 2, we're really finding some angle t. Okay? So, and again, essentially, I can rewrite this and say that's equivalent to saying the sine of t equals the square root of 2 over 2. So I want to find the angle that gives me a y value of square root of 2 over 2. Well, I could look at that, and I can look on your chart, and I'm going to let you use your chart that you've done. But this point right here in this unit circle would be the square root of 2 over 2, comma, square root of 2 over 2. Remember, that is at where your theta here, or your t, whichever you want to call it, is 45 degrees. Okay, and you could look up on your chart too and see that it's 45 degrees or pi over 4. Okay, so my angle that gives me that is 45 degrees or pi over 4, depending on whether you want it in degrees or radians. So now, but what if I have a negative value in front of it? Okay, it was okay here because they were both in the first quadrant. And by the way, inverse sine is written like this. Arc sine really means the same thing. They're interchangeable. It's just two different notations. You'll see it both ways, so that's why we're using it both ways. Okay, so where is sine negative? That's what I have to ask myself. Okay, so remember when we did reference angles, we said, okay, the reference angle is to the x-axis in each of these quadrants, right? But in two of these quadrants, sine is going to be positive, and in the other two, sine is going to be negative. So we get repeated values, okay? So we've actually defined inverse sine to go just between negative pi over 2 and pi over 2. So just in these two quadrants, okay? In the fourth quadrant and the first quadrant. Our negative values for sine are down here. Our positive values for sine are up here. Because again, y values are positive above, negative below. Okay? So, if I want to do inverse sine of negative square root of 3 over 2, well again, really what I'm looking for is what angle gives me that. Okay? Well, I know I'm going to be over here in the fourth quadrant, so I can draw it in the fourth quadrant. And again, you could think about it being on the unit circle, and what's the, x, y coordinates here, and we want the y coordinate. Well, if you don't remember, it's going to be either 30 or 60, right? But I am going to let you use your chart. So you can look on your chart and go over to sine and see where it's the square root of 3 over 2. Well, it's the square root of 3 over 2 at 60 degrees. Okay? So, but that's in the first quadrant. I needed to be in the fourth quadrant. So it's negative 60 degrees or negative pi over 3. Again, depending on whether or not you want it in degrees or radians. But, and I'll draw this a little more like it looks like negative 60. But negative 60 degrees, so right here is negative 60 degrees. The coordinates here of this would be 1/2, comma, negative square root of 3 over 2. And there's your y value. Okay? So, that's inverse sine. Now, what if you have something like this, though? What if I have inverse sine of 2? What do you think your answer is going to be there? Well, can sine be 2? Is there any way I can get a y value greater than 2 here, or greater than 1 here? No. And there's not any way I can get it less than negative 1 either, is there? Okay. Sine and cosine, remember, when you take sine or cosine of an angle, it's not going to be greater than 1. It's not going to be less than negative 1. So this does not exist. Okay, or it's an empty set, whichever way you want to write it. Okay, inverse cosine, same type of thing. Okay, and again, it can be written as arc cosine or inverse cosine with full negative 1. But with cosine, where is cosine positive? Okay, so let's look again here in the quadrants. Well, cosine is your x values. So we can't use quadrant 1 and 4 because cosine is positive in both of those quadrants, because to the right, cosine is positive, just like our x values are. So rather than using these two quadrants, we define inverse cosine for these two quadrants. Okay, so between 0 and pi. Okay, so inverse cosine of negative square root of 3 over 2, well, it's negative. Which one of these two quadrants is cosine negative in? The second quadrant. So we know we're going to be over here in the second quadrant. Okay, but again, you can look this up on your chart if you'd like to. Go to your cosine, see where it's square root of 3 over 2, you'll see it's 30 degrees, right? But that is only the reference angle. So it's not actually just 30 degrees. We can't do that. We know the reference angle here is 30 degrees. What we need to figure out now is what is it from here to here. So let me draw that a little bit better. We know my reference angle, we know the reference angle here is 30 degrees. This is 30 degrees. So what is it from here to here? Well, it has to be 150. So this is actually equal to 150 degrees. So with inverse sine, you can just put a negative in front of it because it's in the fourth quadrant, and so you can just report them as negative angles. You can't do that with inverse cosine. You've got to figure out what your reference angle is and then subtract that from 180 to find what it actually is when it's negative. Okay. All right, inverse cosine of 1. Now, again, this is just saying, where's your x value 1? Well, if you think about your unit circle again, think about your unit circle. Where is my x value 1? Right here. That's where my x value is 1, right? So 0 degrees or 0 radians. And I didn't write this one in radians. So this would be, and remember 30 degrees is pi over 6, right? And you'd have to have 5 of those, so it's 5 pi over 6, because 5 times 30 is 150, okay, or 0 radians. Okay, what about this? Inverse cosine of negative 2. Can I have that? Can I get negative 2 for an x value anywhere here? No, I can't. So again, this one is does not exist or is an empty set. Okay. All right, tangent, inverse tangent. Now, inverse tangent is defined between negative pi over 2 and pi over 2, again, just like our inverse sine was, okay, because in these two quadrants, between negative pi over 2 and pi over 2, we have our tangent values here positive, our tangent values here are negative. So we get all of them in these two quadrants. So that's what it's defined between here for inverse tangent. So again, where is it positive? Well, it's in the first quadrant. So all you have to do on this one is look it up on your table. Okay, and again, you could set up your right triangle and figure that out. But this is a 30 degree angle, or pi over 6. Okay, radians. Inverse tangent of 1. Well, again, where is it 1? Okay, well, you might remember because it's sine over cosine that it's going to be directly halfway because that's where your x and your y values are equal. So it's 45 degrees or pi over 4. Okay, so if we had one that was negative, for instance, let's say we were doing inverse tangent of negative square root of 3. Okay, well, that has to be in the fourth quadrant, so we're just exactly doing what we did with sine and just reporting it as a negative degree, okay, or radian. So it's negative 60 degrees or negative pi over 3 radians. Okay. Okay, so now looking at the graphs of these. Well, if you remember when we graphed other inverse functions, what really happens is your x and y just switch places. So look at what happens with this. This is what we restricted our inverse sine, right, between negative pi over 2 and pi over 2. Well, if we graph that, we switch the x and the y, and now our angles are here, and our values of negative 1 to 1 are here on our x. That's all that happens. So we're just taking this part of the graph and it gets reflected actually in the line y equals x, remember, but that switches your x and y values. So that's what happens with all of these, and here's all three of them then. So here's inverse sine, again, between negative pi over 2 and pi over 2, on your x between negative 1 and 1. Cosine has to be between negative 1 and 1. You can't take inverse cosine of anything outside that. But remember, we defined that between 0 and pi, so we just have the graph between 0 and pi. And then inverse tangent, again, is between negative pi over 2 and pi over 2, and just flipped in the line y equals x, your x and y are switched. Okay. So, sketching the graph of this one. So, arctangent x over 2. Now, same concept applies here with any of the other transformations to graphs we've had. This is x divided by 2. It's with the x, it does the opposite. So rather than dividing by 2, we're multiplying our x values by 2. Well, our x values when we do inverse tangent are these values, not the angles, right? So instead of going out here to 1, and remember, notice here, this is at 45 degrees, pi over 4. It hits at 1 because tangent of 45 degrees is 1. Okay? Tangent of negative 45 degrees right here, it's at negative 1. Well, these x values now are going to go out to 2 because our x values are getting multiplied by 2. Okay, so inverse tangent goes between negative pi over 2 and pi over 2, so these are still going to be that. Okay, that didn't change. Didn't have anything in front of it. So, but our x values there changed from 1 to 2. So we have this point at 0, 0, and then instead of having the 45, 1, we have 45, 2. And again, these are my asymptotes that it's not going to cross. And these were vertical when you graphed tangent. Now they're horizontal because we switch our x and our y when you do an inverse. Okay, and so here at negative 45 degrees, it's going to be out at, well, I guess negative 45 would be about right there. Okay, and so here's your graph of that. Continues off. Okay. So, you look at these and see if you can figure out which one it is. And it is, the winner is B. Okay, so your x values here are getting divided by 2. Okay, our x values on our sign went from 1 to negative 1, so then we divide them by 2, it goes between 1/2 and negative 1/2. It didn't affect this, okay, nothing out in front of it, so it didn't affect our y, just our x.